Claire. How's it going?
Hi, Meg. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have a busy weekend ahead.
What are your
Busy.
plans?
I'm going to see my grandma with Dan. They're going to
Oh,
meet for the first time in Florida. I'm going to Fort Lauderdale. And then we're taking a little rental car and we're driving down to Disney. Gonna do 2 days in Disney. I haven't done Disney World since I was like a teenager. And it was funny because I was looking at like TikToks and stuff about Disney World and the food at Disney World. And I was like, this place is, they have gourmet stuff. Like, what? Like, when I was a kid, I just had like burgers and fries at Disney World. I had no idea they had like gorgeous looking, interesting food. So I feel like my Disney experience as an adult is going to just be like mind blowing. I'm already like prepared to be amazed.
so give us some examples. Like, what did you see that was like, ooh?
Well, like there was this donut croissant thing with like this blue, like little pretty dainty stripe of icing on it. And I was like, that looks so interesting. And then there were these little like Asian dumpling things with
Mm.
different filling, but they weren't Asian. They were like Americanized filling, like modern takes on food that I just did not expect. I honestly, my only memory of Disney food is like burgers, fries, and milkshakes from like some Pinocchio tavern in Magic Kingdom.
Well, listen, we now all have expectations of having some footage, pictures, and whatnot shared with us next week.
Okay,
So,
maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll do a little like food post on Instagram or something, or just photos in general, like a little photo dump.
I mean, whatever feels, right. But I'm certain I am not the only one who wants to have like updates and pictures of your time at Disney.
Well, the Recovery Collective has so many Disney fans.
Hmm.
It's like I didn't realize it until I brought this up a few months ago that I was potentially going to Disney World, and they all just outed themselves as major Disney adults essentially. And I was like, wow, okay. Like I have like little built-in tour guides and experts into this community. If I really need advice, people will come through.
That's true. You
Yeah,
should probably ask them for last minute recommendations before
maybe
you
I will.
go. And you also now have the responsibility of, giving us feedback because, you're the mama of the community. So you got to come back with stuff.
Okay, I will do my best. It is my honor. It is my true honor to come back and report my Disney trip to all of you.
Thank you.
So I'm pumped, but I have so much to do leading up to this weekend, like as far as
Oh,
like I have to finish my taxes. I just have like I don't know, there's just some, different projects coming up for the collective and stuff. So
yeah, the taxes bit does not sound like fun.
yeah, I'm like taxes. Woo. I'm pretty much 85% done. It's just like tying up the bows, like dotting the T's, crossing the I's, like making sure everything looks good.
Yeah.
And I don't
You
know how long
know,
it'll take.
this is part of the adulting stuff that I have decided to outsource because, nah.
No. That's what everyone's telling me. That's what everyone is telling me. Well, next year.
I will remind you of this next year.
Next year. Oh, you better believe I am getting an accountant like next week.
Good,
going,
good. So you
going.
will give us two updates: Disney and accountant search.
Yes, yes. I will hold me accountable.
Sounds good. We know how to do that.
Yeah, accountability. Accountability is my middle name.
All right. Meg Accountability McCabe.
Exactly. What's your middle name?
I don't know. I have an actual one, but I don't know
What's
what it would be.
mm, it's probably like Anne Claire and Anne Claire mindfulness or Anne Claire gentle yoga, Jedrzejczak.
I'll take it. I'm not sure that's the first word that my clients would think of when they think of me as a coach.
True. I don't know what they would say, actually.
Well, they're not here, so we're not going to ask them. But if a client of mine is watching this and wants to make a suggestion,
comment.
And, I'll follow up during our coaching session if needed.
Anne Claire Cook and Chat Jedrzejczak.
Ah, there we go.
Okay. Also, I did want to point out before we dive into the content, I am wearing merch again. This is
Please show it off.
Healing in Progress, cute little battery shirt with the logo of the Recovery Collective on the side.
So cute.
It's our cute
so cute.
And we have V-necks and stuff too on the site, but I got a very traditional shirt. So it's very cute. I love this one.
I love it. Does it exist in other colors?
This specific one just exists, I think, in gray.
Okay. And the other ones exist in white and...
Some of them exist in white, soft pink, soft blue mostly, or gray.
Nice.
It depends on what you order and if I thought it clashed.
Makes sense. Also, on that note, if anyone else has some merch and wants to send us a picture or, tag us on Instagram, please do. We would love to see you and your merch.
We would. That's always really fun for me and for Anne Claire. So, yay!
On that note, we do have a question. And a question that I read and I was like, oh, I so get it. And I know you have thoughts about it.
Yes. Oh.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready for this.
Are salads a disordered choice?
I love this question because I can see how one would think that salads would always be the disordered choice, right? Because that's kind of the food that becomes, for many, not everyone, it becomes a very eating disorder safe food. Just low calorie option, fresh vegetables. It can be really clean. So I can see how an eating disorder will hijack the concept of a salad and make it a safe eating disorder choice. I know in my eating disorder, that was absolutely the case. I don't know about you.
Oh, so 100%. I mean, let's be real. When we think of the concept salad, unfortunately for the salad concept, it has been hijacked by diet culture in a massive way. Because, what you're talking about and what used to be also part of my eating disorder safer foods, situation, also called rules and restriction, was the concept of the salad with, just the dry, boring salad leaves, a few pieces of something else, and then that's kind of it, sort of, you know what I mean? A not well-made salad, and we'll get to that later, but it's talked about in such a way everywhere, in magazines, on TV, on shows, blah, 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 as this, clean, lose weight,
Healthy, completely healthified.
So it's not surprising that, our eating disorders often transform that into a disordered choice, and that's what it sort of sounds like, or that's what we associate in terms of not disordered choice. But there's nuance here.
Can I share a quick story about my recovery? Okay. So this wasn't really recovery. This was when I was in the eating disorder. So when I had the eating disorder, I was into that modeling phase of my life. And I actually going into the eating disorder, I didn't like salad at all. I was such a picky eater as a kid. I thought it was just kind of gross, salad, gross, don't like lots of vegetables, don't like all this, tomatoes are gross, ew. I did not like any of it. However, when I started modeling, I remember going out to a lunch with a bunch of modeling agents for the first time, and I felt so insecure about what to order, and I felt really scared about what to order because I had an eating disorder, that I ordered salad even though I didn't like it, and I had literally never had a salad before. And that was the beginning, and I just forced myself to eat salads after that.
That sounds really sucky.
Isn't that sad?
That's very sad.
It was like a product of like me just feeling this weird diet culture pressure, honestly, and eating disorder pressure. Like, oh, this must be the option you pick to impress people.
Also, let's be real. You're not the only one who has, in their lifetime, chosen a meal, especially with other people around, based on what you know is going to perceive as something better, morally superior, because we all learn that.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah, I was not about to order like fries and a burger or whatever at this place. I wanted to look a certain way to all of these agents, and that was just kind of where my salad journey began, which is pretty much a bummer. But now as an adult, I do actually authentically like salad, and I feel like for me, it's not always a disordered choice. Well, never is, because I don't have an eating disorder anymore. But I want to expand on how salads aren't necessarily a disordered choice. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to sort of like insist on why, just for a second more. Like, I'm curious to hear, like, if I asked you, why was your choice in that example, right? When you went out to lunch, why was it disordered then?
Because I was worried about weight loss. Like, we'll just throw it out there right there. It was completely motivated by appearance and weight loss for me. My eating disorder was very much about that. So needing to diet and fear of being judged by others. So there was a total disconnect from my body and what I authentically wanted in the moment, which is kind of a really good rule of thumb for people if they're wondering, is my choice of a salad disordered or not? It's like, what is your motivation behind ordering this salad? And for me, in that moment, it had nothing to do with the fact I even like salads. Clearly, I did not. Yeah. My body probably was really grossed out by the entire concept, but I disowned that part of me and decided to have the salad because of all the reasons I just stated.
And you know, I can imagine whether that was the case for that salad or other salads you had in your disordered years, that they looked a lot like mine, which is not at all in any way whatsoever like anything we would call a balanced plate. They typically did not include all components that we need to feed ourselves properly. They're typically more of like, you know, a volume eating kind of a vibe, you know, let's stock up on vegetables and not have any carbs, maybe not enough protein, no fats, etc., which are key components in what is like a normal balanced diet. Don't even trust me. Go and ask a dietitian or look up Talia Sacella's Balanced Plate Guide that is available for free on her website. And I'm happy to link that below. But, you know, just saying, it's also disordered for those reasons, right? Because there's a very good chance it is not actually meeting our needs.
Right.
And it's rooted in the wrong intentions.
100%. I think there are happy salads and sad salads.
This is such a mega thing to say, and I love it.
Like, I can tell when there's a happy salad in front of someone and a sad salad in front of someone. And I will say the sad salad looks like it's like veggies only.
Usually all raw, because, you know, or steamed.
I don't remember last time I had like steamed veggies and like felt any spark of joy, to be honest. Like, it's no. But I will say, like, raw veggies, steamed, no dressing, no fats, no cheese. I love cheese on a salad. You know, like protein, all the things are gone and it's stripped of everything. And maybe even healthified, like the sugar-free, fat-free dressing, which...
Oh, I have another one. Only kale as the base of the salad.
Do you know, like, kale just became popular a few years back? Like, it used to just be what was like a visually pretty setting for salad bars in the US.
I mean, I get it because it don't taste very good. I'm sorry, but it just really doesn't.
Yeah, no, so it's like these sad salads, they can be disordered because, like you said, Anne Claire, they're not meeting your body's needs for a variety of nutrients.
Hmm.
And I bet you $1 million they're not authentically satisfying you as a human and what you intuitively want and need in that moment.
And I think that this is like the best entry point to say, how can salads be a happy salad and not disordered? Because let's be real, both you and I now will pick salads every once in a while because that's what or we will make them at home because that's what we want. And yet, it doesn't mean that we are going back to a disordered choice. We're making that choice in a completely different way. And it's really, truly the mirror of what we just said about the sad salad. Like a salad today, for me, is going to look like all food groups. There is absolutely no way I can have just vegetables and feel full and satisfied at the end of the bowl. Like, that's just not going to happen. Certainly we'll have not just raw vegetables in there. That just no. I'm not like FYI, I do love some raw vegetables, but I do genuinely enjoy way more having a mix of things and roasted veggies. I'm sorry, they're magical. They have a thing. Just the oil, just like it opens up the flavors. Olives, I love all of feta, cheese. Like they will be all of the different components. If for any reason my salad bowl does not have an incorporated carb in it, which could happen, that's not a problem. I will for sure have a good few slices of grilled bread on the side because you need it. Because again, without that, it's going to be really freaking hard to feel satisfied. Satisfaction works in combination with the concept of a balanced plate. So it's really important to remember that they really work together. And, I'm not going to have it if I don't feel like having it. My body's going to tell me. Sometimes our bodies are magnificent. It's just amazing. When once you get to a point in life where you're more trusting, I find it incredible how our bodies are signaling what they need by making us want certain kinds of food. I don't know if I'm the only one who has this like, wow. I don't know. I find that just so like weird, awesome, incredible, and logical at the same time that our bodies are able to let us know what we need by making us crave something.
Oh yeah, I think it's such a beautiful concept as well, Anne Claire, because it shows how we are just all a force of nature and part of nature, and we don't have to control everything. Like our body is going to tell us exactly what it needs, and we just have to listen to it and also honor ourselves and our needs and our satisfaction levels and all of that. So I feel like when we think about the salads, it's like when you're creating a salad, you still want to maintain so many elements of flavor, protein, carbohydrates, all the delicious things so that you can leave that feeling like it was a satisfying meal and not just some sort of weird diet culture hack to get you through life for a little bit,
I like to say that salads can be, like when I have a conversation with a client, I like to sort of say, look, salads can be non-disordered when we make sure that they sort of meet our nutritional needs. That can be both because we want it for taste craving purposes, but also we can make that choice, from our own knowledge. That's also okay to choose a salad because we say, oh, variety is nice. And eating the rainbow is good because it brings, a bunch of different vitamins and micronutrients and whatever. Sure, that's why dietitians will also say yeah, sure, it's great to eat the rainbow because, we know that because of I'm not going to explain this very well. Have a conversation with dietitian. But when you eat the rainbow, you're hitting like not only just the big categories, but all of the small categories of vitamins and nutrients and whatever. So awesome. You can actually also make that choice out of like, oh, like I haven't had, it has happened to me where, I was on vacation somewhere and certain choices were not available for a while. And then I go back to the grocery store and then my body's kind of like, oh, vegetables. I can make a salad. It's both. That choice could be made out of my body signaling that, or from my brain informing me, hey girl, remember, like have been missing this category of food for a little while. You could feel good. That's also an okay choice to make, right? Because that intention is still based in, honoring my needs, not controlling my body shape or size or whatever.
I love that you said that. Actually, it reminds me of a conversation I had with a client recently who's pretty far along in her eating disorder recovery journey, like almost there. And it's almost at the point where she'll just come back and report a few disordered thoughts that she had, and we'll talk through it and all that. So it's really great that she's doing well. And so she came back and she had gone out and they were ordering at a restaurant, and the option for a side salad came up, or fries, or maybe soup or something like that. And she was caught with this fear that if she had the salad, it would have been an eating disorder choice, right? And of course, like after unpacking it, we realized it would have come from a place of like satisfaction. But I think when people are sat with the side salad choice, it's a really good exercise in asking yourself, what do I feel like right now? What sounds good and what's going to satisfy me? Because you can say to yourself, in that moment, do I want something light, crispy, and fresh to go with, say, my burger? Or do I want this like legit pub experience and have the fries that are crunchy and hot that I can dip them in the ketchup and they're salty? It's like,
no, mayo, Meg.
Oh, gosh. Weird.
It's like Anne Claire's only comment is on the sauce.
Maybe we can find like a cool alternative sauce we both like. But I would say, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a nice exercise to check in with yourself when the side salad is an option, because I will take a moment to just pause and be like, what do I feel like right now? And sometimes it is coming from a place of, I'd like to balance out my day a little bit, and I'll have a salad and it feels really good in that moment, versus the fries. And it's not coming from a disorder.
Yeah. And this is where I'm going to say, I don't know where the person is at who asked this question, but you're not going to do this early on in recovery.
Yeah.
So this works. This questioning works because of where your client is at currently in her recovery, right? It doesn't work when we still have beliefs and thoughts about how morally superior maybe we are when we make certain choices, or how maybe we should, quote unquote, control our body. Or maybe it isn't good to this or that. Like, if we still have extremely loud eating disorder thoughts, it's going to be so much more complicated to truly hear from our, inner knowing what we feel like having, because our intuition or wise voice is covered in eating disorder layers when our eating disorder is still sort of like too strong for us to be truly connected to what we could call intuition or, true healthy self voice. So I just want to make sure that if you do question yourself, make sure that you're in a space in recovery where that makes sense. Because I would say to some clients, this is too early. Like, at this point, you go with what your dietitian is like suggesting for you to do, not, maybe sometimes in the moment you're like, but I feel like it. And I'm like, but is that really you? Or is that what you think you should want based on the loudest part inside of you, which might still be your eating disorder? Right. So, it's one of those things where, because of how much our thoughts can be influenced by our beliefs and our eating disorder, we need to make sure that a significant amount of work has been done around that before we start making choices based on what we feel like and we want, in that very feelings, intuition kind of sense.
Absolutely. I think this is definitely a higher level skill. And if there's still fear in your heart over choosing the fries over the salad, it's probably a sign that you should like keep challenging those fries instead of go for the salad, because suddenly you feel less stressed because you're listening to the eating disorder. So if the eating disorder is strong and the eating disorder is like loud in your heart and telling you like you should or shouldn't have this, you might not be at the level where you can intuitively pick a salad, honestly.
Yep. Agreed.
And it's tough, and I think that's why there are different levels of progress that you want to make sure you're like being honest with yourself about.
And again, like if you're working with a dietitian, and if not, then, we know that it's not always possible, but this is why they will typically use the RAVES model first to normalize your eating by making sure you eat regularly, adequately, that you have variety in your diet, that you're able to eat socially and be spontaneous. And sort of when you graduate from RAVES, you move into something where you can start exploring your choices in a much more intuitive way. We're talking about, past graduation from RAVES kind of questions when we're exploring, is the salad disordered? How can I explore that when I show up to like a lunch meeting or whatever? I'm just thinking of your example. But again, there is a time and a place for all of these things. And hopefully this sort of gave you a few pointers. But all salads are not disordered, but many salads are for an amount of time in recovery because of what diet culture did to the poor salads. It turned all the happy salads into sad salads.
Yeah. It's horrible. Save our salads.
I mean, and save Meg's fries because, oh my God, you're still serving them with ketchup.
Save all of Belgium's fries. Mayonnaise is low-key gross. I'm just gonna.
It's amazing. Anyway, that's for another day. And actually, side note, whilst we're talking about this is typically a preference, right? Mayo or ketchup. And I can tell you, I'm just giving that as a side note. For a while, I tried to convince myself that I preferred ketchup or that I preferred other sauces or other dressings on my salads. I did not prefer them. I had opinions about, what I could have or should have with certain salads or with certain kinds of foods. So preferences are cool, but make sure you've challenged all the options first and that every single choice is neutral, right? Like when we're kidding about the mayo ketchup, both choices are 100% neutral. Like, it's not, again, same thing. The intention behind a choice matters greatly.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, preference. Well, we should just do a whole nother episode on preference at some point because
probably
I have more to say, but I'm just going to let it go for now.
You're just going to accept that you have the wrong preference for ketchup for now.
Yeah,
and we will get back to preference another time.
Okay. All right. Bye, Anne Claire. Thank you. Bye, everyone watching.